Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, everybody. It's my pleasure to have the possibility to meet you again in the end of your stay in Prague. I hope you enjoyed it. You met new friends, you established new contacts, and now is the closing ceremony, the awards for us. Welcome in the Bethlehem Chapel at the award ceremony of European Cyber Security Challenge. At the very beginning, may I ask for a few words, rector of the Czech Technical University, Professor Vojtěch Petráček.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, all of you who came to our Bethlehem Chapel to this nice ceremony where you will get your nice rewards for your work and competition. I think the topic of your contest, of the cybersecurity game which you were participating in, the cybersecurity is a very important topic for the whole society, for our university. And as I see here many important players from our society and from the EU, it's like that all over the Europe and world, actually. And I see here also so many hackers, and I'm very glad that you are the ethical ones, ethical hackers, because otherwise, that would be very bad for the university, I guess. But you are helping to the society to be better defended. So thank you for your work and thank you for your effort. And I hope you will enjoy the ceremony and enjoy also the historical place of the Bethlehem Chapel, Aula of Czech Technical University. Thank you.
Many thanks, Mr. Petráček. Now I would like to invite to the stage President of the Armed Forces Communications and Electronic Association, AFCEA Czech Chapter, Mr. Tomáš Muller.
Good afternoon to everybody, dear students. I must say that I very like this Bethlehem Chapel. Perhaps because I graduated here from the Czech Technical University in Prague 21 years ago. For your information, my diploma thesis was about that time common and modern ISDN technology. I had that time my first GSM phone, Alcatel One Touch, without internet connectivity as well, of course, but with 2 lines on the display. That time my internet connectivity was realized through dial-up telephone line, and the speed was about 30 kilobits per second. That time I used Car Atlas. That time people mostly used for sending short messages, post telegrams, and for sending longer messages, postcards. I would like to point out, dear students, that I'm not talking about prehistory. I'm only a little older than you. Today's word is dramatically different. Everything is different. Everything is connected to the internet. We are addicted to the internet. Maybe the most critical situation for my children is disconnected Wi-Fi. We built the new living space, the cyber world. But this world is more and more dangerous. And question is how to protect this cyber world, how to protect our cyber lives. I don't know a solution, but I'm sure that it's only one way: the cooperation across generations, communication across the generations, mutual inspiration and mutual motivation. Last 3 days in Prague were for me big inspiration and big motivation. Thank you very much for everything. Let me thank very much ENISA for the opportunity to organize this event, ECSC 21. Thank very much to all members of steering and executive committee. Thank very much to all members of Czech national cyber team who prepared competition cyber challenges. And thank you very much for your attention. All the best.
Many thanks, Mr. Muller. And now the next speaker whom I would like to invite to the stage is the Executive Director of the European Union Agency for Cybersecurity, ENISA, Mr. Juhan Lepassaar.
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to see you. I only regret that I didn't participate since the beginning. It's the 7th European Cybersecurity Challenge. And as they say always in the end of the Olympics, it was the best organized challenge so far. So my first thanks goes to all the organizers, and I really want to thank them for putting it all together, for allowing us and these 19 teams to compete and find out who are the best. I don't know yet who the best will be. It's a secret, well kept, so I'm not going to spill any beans. Why do we organize that? Of course, to meet new people, exchange expertise, get to know new avenues in cybersecurity. But there are also 3 million empty cybersecurity posts in the world. And we need more people like you who are keen and interested in cybersecurity to come into the field and fill the gap. We also organize that because we are very conscious about the fact that last year the number of cyber incidents with significant impact increased 72%. We predict that this growth is going to be replicated this year and the years to come. So we have a huge challenge ahead of us, and as was told by the previous speaker, the only way how we can tap and try to make amends is by cooperating with each other, trying to build communities and networks that raise our overall resilience. You are part of this community, and you will be well sought after. And not to Mr. Train, the EU Agency for Cybersecurity also tries to make the best out of this, and we will be offering 2 traineeships for the participants of this event. So I hope that when you will get an email from ENISA asking you to put your candidacy forward, that you will reply as well. Thank you very much. I hope you had fun, and I hope that we will continue to see you in your career in cybersecurity for the benefits of everybody. Thank you so much.
Mr. Lepassaar, thank you. And now I would like to invite to the podium General Director of the European Commission's Directorate General for Informations, DG Digit, Mr. Mario Campolargo.
Hello, everybody. Unlike Thomas, I'm not able to say that I was here even less 21 years ago. I was in a similar environment 40 years ago. There was no mobile telephone. There was only telephones. And because the limits of invention of names of humanity are not that great, we called mobile telephone by opposition to the telephone that was placed in a table in our houses. So that's where I come from. But I'm super happy here to be in this awards ceremony of the European Cybersecurity Challenge 2021, like Juhan said, the best breed of the challenge. And I really would like to thank everybody that make this possible. And above all the teams, all the 19 teams that have been competing. All coming from different parts of the European Union, but also from abroad, and that's very, very, very interesting. Let me address my big thanks to the local organizers. There's a lot of sponsors, also to our colleagues in ENISA, that in fact, as Juhan just said, do a continuous struggle to identify talent in Europe in the areas of cyber security. And, he made an appeal that I will repeat again, please consider also to do a European career that's open for all of us. Never think that this is only for others like Juhan or myself. We are just like you. We have been sitting in the same places as you, and we are enjoying our careers in Brussels or elsewhere. Now, as a Director General of the Director General for Informatics, I'd like to give you a personal testimony of what I see these days, and I think that is so important for all of you. I'm responsible for supporting the digital infrastructure, the digital workplace, the cloud resources that we use for 2 things: to support the operations of the European Commission as an organization, like any state organization, public administration in the member state, but also to help implementing the digital policies. And I call them digital policies because today I cannot imagine any policy, any social or political policy that does not have this aspect of digital in itself. So we need also to support the implementation of these digital policies. And as such, our networks, our systems need to be safeguarded against cyber attacks. And we also need to get our staff, our members of the public administrations in general, to get the guidance, the knowledge, and the skills that allow them to make their part in the defense of the important assets that the public administrations have in any country, and in particular in Europe. Now, I will repeat some of the things, but please, the European institutions have in fact constitute a special target for cyber threats and cyber attacks. Since the outbreak of the pandemics, the number, but more the sophistication of the attacks that we have been witnessing has been growing exponentially. You gave a figure, and right now in 2021, and we are still midway in 2021, we have already more serious attacks than in 2020. So the exponential growth coming up. Now, of course, we remain vigilant. We have our own systems to monitor, to tap, to follow some of the threat actors that are targeting the EU institutions. We observe also their tactics. It's almost a sociological analysis, if I may say, we observe the sophistication of their business models, because there are real business models behind the cyber attacks. But we also realize that we have been subject to those attacks, despite all our efforts to contain them, to have policies and approaches to that. In this context, we in the Commission, my department, also DG Connect, Juhan and ENISA and others are working continuously to make sure that we propose new ways of finding and putting in place cybersecurity or information security methodologies, approaches, regulations if need be, to ensure that we in the European institutions and we globally in Europe can contain those attacks. But above all, we have to invest all together in the cyber hygiene, in the cyber awareness of everybody. And here I'm going out of the containment of the European institutions to say that we have to promote cyber-aware programs to the whole society, because what some of those threat actors are is threatening the society and the democratic values and the values of Europe in this particular case. Now, you know that we face very skilled, very well-resourced actors, apart from the opportunistic hackers that also appear. We know that the only way to counter this is to find really the inspiration and the motivation that you exhibit in those challenges, you that are here with me today, with us today. Really, your attitude will allow us, by identifying best actors, young actors on this domain, to really create the pool of resources that European institutions, ENISA, public administrations, private sector will need in the future. We cannot lose, we cannot afford to lose your abilities and your knowledge. But still, as Juhan said, we struggle to find the quality and the amount of resources that we need. We struggle to find the right profiles. So that's amongst you, amongst your friends, you that have the background, the experience, that you went through this process, that we will find the fertile ground, that we find collaborators for the future. Never forget an opportunity to work in ENISA, to monitor the job opportunities in the European Commission. I would be super glad if one day I would interview somebody that I would say, I saw you in Prague in the cyber exercise that we did together. But let me open a bit the floor, and I finish very quickly, to one particular thing that is important for me personally, the presence of women in this domain. Today, we clearly see that the gender balance in cybersecurity professions, maybe also in IT professions, even within the academic community, has not reached yet the right balance. It is difficult. It is difficult. I think, Mr. Rector, I think that is a challenge for all of us to really encourage women not just to go to the social disciplines or medicine, and I speak because my daughter is a medical doctor, but also to encourage them to come this. We, in the European institutions, we have created a very important program, what we call the Cybersecurity Training Program, that actually advocates to a large extent the participation of women, actually the shift of their careers from where they are in the European Commission organization to come to the aspects of cybersecurity. In fact, with this training, we are challenging some of the stereotypes, and we are calling upon the most innovative colleagues to come and learn and be more knowledgeable in the area of cybersecurity. Do you know what? Last year in 24 participants, 19 were women. This year in 24 participants, 19 are women. So I really turn to all the women in this room. It's with you that is also the key of making us more resilient. We need your expertise, your way of seeing the things, your understanding of the social dimension, your skills to make sure that we get a gender balance. Now, I close by congratulating all of you. I know that I couldn't say that, but I know who has won this event. In fact, the winners are all of you that are here. And you are the ones that actually deserve the efforts of all of us, because you have been winning, because we inspired each other, because you dare to go this step, and because we see on you a huge potential. Remember, we need you to help us to protect not just European Union institutions, but the society at large. Thank you very much.
Mr. Campolargo, thank you very much. The next speaker whom I invite to the podium is the director of the Czech National Cyber and Information Security Agency, Mr. Karel Řehka.
So hello everybody, especially the contestants. It is a real privilege and honor to be here and to be able to talk to you here. So it's really hard to add a few words after those speakers before me, because I think everything important was captured. It was already mentioned that we are really becoming more interconnected, both people and devices and the whole society. The technology is developing so fast that it's really hard to keep the pace with it. It gives us the great opportunities, but it also presents some risks and dependencies. None of us can imagine really to work without the network, to work without the technology and the internet. If you stop the internet and you stop technology, you stop the society as a whole. That's the truth today. So the cybersecurity has really become the key element of the overall security of our society. And that's really, really important field. I agree with those statistics who were said here and mentioned on the threats and attacks. We can see the same trends in our country. And that just tells us that this field will not become any less important than it is today. Actually, the importance will grow. And the major problem we have now, and it was already mentioned several times, is really the awareness of the society, but also the lack of the cybersecurity experts. And you sitting here and all the students and contestants, you are already the experts. So I just want to thank the ENISA, the organizers, the AFCEA, all the companies who sit here, all the sponsors, for supporting events like European Cybersecurity Challenge, because that's really important. It helps us all to cover the gap in the labor or in the workforce we have right now, and it's really a big issue for all of us, not only in Czech Republic, in Europe, but in the whole world, not only in public sector, but also in the private sector. And as you probably all know, and as you noticed, the cybersecurity competition here, it's not only about losing or winning, it's about learning, it's about networking, it's about inspiring each other and meeting here. And I think that's the most important. And if I look in the future, I can see many of you, and you are already the experts, but I can see you in a few words to be the world leading experts in cybersecurity and the premier experts in cybersecurity. And I can see one day, maybe when we tackle the challenges, you may gain from this networking, and you may work together with experts in other countries who you met here on the competition. So I congratulate all of you, regardless what place you had in the competition, for your great success and for what you do. And I wish you, and I ask you and beg you to stay in this field. You are already the experts, but become even greater experts, and also try to motivate and inspire others to work in this field. And I hope, and I'm looking forward to work together with you and cooperate with you in the future. Thank you.
Many thanks. And the last speaker is head of the research group COSIC at University of Leuven, Professor Bart Preneel.
Good afternoon. It's a great honor and pleasure to be here in front of you and to be able to talk to all these bright contestants who are very enthusiastic and who share their energy. You could really feel the energy in the room in the past days. And it's really great to have you here. And I hope you will have fond remembrances to this event. So if you want to place me in time, I was doing programming on a Commodore 64 at home. In university, I programmed with punch card on an IBM mainframe. And then I decided to do research, and I went to my professor and I said, I want to work in medical information processing. He said, that's good, you will do a PhD in cryptography. I didn't even know what it was, but I did a PhD in cryptography. When I was done, my professor told me, well, you know, this security cryptography, this is nice and cool, but there is no market for this. It's not important. Nobody needs this. A few banks and governments, but if you want to be in academia or in industry, you have to do something serious. Leave cryptography, work on telecommunication modeling, or work on medical signal processing, but not on cryptography. That can be a hobby during your research, but anyway. Things have changed, but so this is the advice. Don't always follow the advice you get, because old people may give you the wrong advice. So, this event had as motto, shape the future of cybersecurity. In fact, we don't know what the future of cybersecurity is because prediction is very difficult, especially of the future. We do know that you will play a role there as smart researchers and smart experts. And you already heard in all the speeches, everybody tried to lure you into their business. The people say, come work for the government, come work for Europe, come work for industry, we need you. And definitely you will be needed, you have many choices. So I feel as an academic, I should also say, come to academia. Do a PhD, you can actually do great things, you have a lot of freedom there. You can actually say what you think all the time. It's fantastic. And we even do hacking. I have a PhD student, a bright student, Leonard. He has been hacking Teslas. He now recently hacked SpaceLink. We have great fun in our university hacking stuff, and you even get paid for it. And you can choose your target yourself. So, but it was, of course, apart from our group, there is many other groups in Europe where you can specialize further in cybersecurity. To come back also on women in cybersecurity. So I did research in many topics, but if I look back, my career is not over, but something I'm very proud of is that about 10% of my PhD students, so 7 of those, are now female professors, all in cybersecurity all over Europe. So you can also go study with them. And so I think I made a small contribution there to try to improve the gender balance. So in the opening session, there was a writer. I think it's very interesting to have people from different disciplines. And he said, you should ask questions. That's what writers do, ask questions. And I know I should stop speaking because you have only one question in your mind, who won? But I'm going to talk a bit more. Of course, there is more important questions in life, and given what you've been doing, you actually ask questions, how do I solve the puzzle? How can I break this crypto system? How can I get root access on this device? So you're very used to ask questions, but maybe it's important to sometimes also ask different questions, more complex questions. that may not be solvable in a puzzle in a few hours. So I think the first question I invite you to consider is, and what about privacy? How does security and privacy relate? This is the cybersecurity competition, and ENISA is the Agency for Cybersecurity. But actually, what do we do about privacy? And if you look back at the last 2 decades, I don't think it have been good decades for privacy. We got the attacks of 9/11 and then a whole series of terrorist attacks all through Europe. And more or less, as society, we were told by our politicians, give up some of your privacy to actually get more security. And we have now cameras in many places. We have much more power and monitoring happening in society. Technology hasn't helped either. All our data is now in the cloud, and we know from Snowden that this data is being monitored closely by the NSA. We have the IoT, which means computers everywhere. And if you speak to security people, as you also heard on Tuesday, the motto in security is, we have to have visibility. We have to see everything, every system, every person, every action, because otherwise we can't secure you. And of course, there is too much data, so we then apply AI to actually analyze all this. And so we have actually computers monitoring everything we do all the time. And this is more or less where we end up. Now, if you think about it, you also need privacy. Privacy is a security property. If you would know where all the policemen were in the city, you would not have a secure city because the criminals would go where there is no policeman at this moment. If you would know where all the spies are, you wouldn't have actually a secure society. But also for us as citizens, if everybody knows when you're not at home or where you are or when you're on vacation, you actually have no security. To have security, you have to have privacy. And you always get this story that more security means less privacy. No, we can get both together. We can reconcile both, and there is very clever techniques to achieve this, and we should work more on this. Because I think otherwise, we end up shifting into a society which, when I was a student, I was told the worst society in Europe was the Stasi, or East Germany, because they were spying and they were efficient in it. But in fact, if you now look at what we have created with technology, is something the Stasi would be really jealous of it. Of course, we have legal protections. We have GDPR, we have controls on what can be done. But I think, to be honest, these protections are not very effective. You all know that all the large companies in Europe go to one particular country. And in this country, it was discovered this year that the Data Protection Commissioner files away 99.93% of all cases ever done. So we have a very great legislation, but in fact, we're very weak in enforcement. And maybe ENISA should also consider, or the Commission, to consider a privacy competition where we work on tools and attacks to protect privacy rather than to hack systems, and we give them equal power. Because I think for society it's very important. Second question I want to ask is, what do you want to protect? Because cybersecurity is about security, so what do you want to protect? Of course, you can think your home and maybe your money, things you have. But of course, you also want to protect the values in society. And then comes the critical question, what are the values in society you want to protect? Why is it so good to live in Europe, where we actually have built a society through very difficult times and many wars, but now we have a European environment with many shared values. We have democracy, we have transparency, we have also accountability, and we have fairness. We try to build a society where everybody can actually have a good life. Now, if you look back at this, and this again before your time, so the internet actually was created by military technology. It was driven by the military to have a survival network. But then in the 80s and 90s, people believed the internet would be a new space with absolute freedom. And there would be not many rules, and everybody could be happy there on the internet in cyberspace. Of course, what we've discovered in the last 2 decades is that the GAFAM, if you want to call them by name, the large companies have created enormous power. They have used the scale of the internet and the tools of scaling to actually take control of our society, in some sense. So whether or not you can show a certain picture on a social network is not decided by your government, not by your local council, it's decided by some company in the US very often, which only goal actually is to make profit. And it's actually very disturbing. Of course, we do have a privacy legislation, which, if you study about it, it's very interesting and powerful. But as I mentioned, it's not that strong on the ground. And so if you look in Europe, we've, over the centuries, created a fair balance between citizens, governments, and companies. And so, for example, the relation between governments and companies is very different. In the US, people tend to distrust government and trust companies. In Europe, we tend to trust more our governments and a bit less companies, but we have a legal framework to keep these actually powers in balance. Now, what technology has done, technology actually has distorted this balance. I already mentioned that the big companies have created a lot of power and control. They make money, but this gives them power. And we know from the Snowden documents that actually also governments have access to this power. So at least some governments use industry to get access to all the data and to also get more power. And so some governments want to actually, for example in China, wants to actually use a cooperation of those two forces and technology to get a full control. So if you think about it, if you want a society that's good to live, then you want the powerful people to be transparent, so you know what they do, you know what they see as information and how they take their decisions. And you want the normal people to have privacy. Now, if you look in our society, in 2 decades, this has completely changed. Now, every one of us with our smartphone is fully transparent, which means some organizations know exactly what you do, who you meet, where you eat. Everything about you is known. And these powerful organizations, they're opaque. You don't know what they do. They have secret algorithms. We can't tell you. It's our business. Also, some governments have these things, but unfortunately, there is only one Snowden to tell us, but there is probably other governments that try to do similar things that have been even inspired by the Snowden leaks to build similar infrastructures to exploit this technical infrastructure. So this sounds like doom and gloom, but I do think we can actually change this, because we built this in a couple of decades, and we can also rebuild it. We can actually recreate things. So to give you one example, I spent the last year on contact tracing apps. It was not a major success, but I think it was a success. And what I think is the biggest success is that a bunch of researchers, led by one of my old students, Carmela, a woman, very powerful woman, we built in a few months' time a solution which is today used by 100 million people. And this actually is privacy friendly. We can actually do contact tracing without sharing any individual data about where you are, who you meet, or whether you follow the rules or not, to a central server. So it's actually possible in a very short time, in less than a year, to roll out an infrastructure that does something useful without creating a big brother and without increasing the power of the powerful, and actually empower the people themselves. And so there is many ways to re-architect the internet, to make it more distributed, more robust. It's possible. We should also go for more open, because in Europe we do understand that a lot of stuff comes from the US, all the hardware comes from Asia, and in Europe we kind of missed the boat. I can't say this too loud, but that's the reality on the ground. But actually, Europe could excel in open systems. We could actually say, look at our society, our model, we should have open hardware and open software in which citizens are empowered and power is controlled. And we can actually rebuild our infrastructure in an open way and in a better way with less risk of abuse. And so that's why I want to conclude. So the theme of this event was shaping the future of cybersecurity. So you're all very bright people. What can you do? To be honest, my generation, we messed up a bit. We were not paying attention. I mean, a very short time, things actually went downhill. But we can probably rebuild it. We can make tools. You can actually join teams that build tools. You can maintain tools. You can also get involved with NGOs and activists to actually make these things happen. And so it's actually possible to get to a better use of technologies with less concentration of power. And so now I come to my final question, my bonus question as it is. We should really ask, bright as you are, strong with technology, I think you should ask the most important question you can ask: what can you do with technology to make this world a better place? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we would like to say thank you to those who supported the ICSC 2021. May I ask Mr. Tomáš Muller for acknowledgement to partners.
Let me say a big thank you very much to all our partners from government, university and commercial sector. Without you, our partners, nothing would be possible. Thank you very much and please big applause for them. And now let me invite on the podium representative of general partner of ECSC 21 in Prague, Palo Alto Networks.
Hello everybody. It's a big honor for us, for the cybersecurity company, to be part of such event as cybersecurity challenge, and with all of you, the most talented people across Europe. So thank you for have this opportunity. Honestly, I have to say that companies like Palo Alto, and I believe that even other partners here, were established by people couple of years ago with similar talent as you have. So I strongly believe there is a bright future ahead of you. So please follow your journey, stay on the ethical side, and good luck. Thank you.
And now, special thank for outstanding support to representatives of Cisco Systems and Alef Nula, technology guarantors of ECSC 21 in Prague. Please go on the podium.
I will say as well a couple of words. First of all, congratulate all of you, because it was already several times said, you are all the winners. There is not the only one who will be number 1, 2, 3. You are all of you are the winners. I think that we should be really proud of you. I wish you that you are stay in the industry, that all the investment which you did in your lives, and as well as we did, over here, will be used always on the good side of the fence, and that you will stay on the positive or ethical part, of all the battlefield. And I believe that this competition and the way how it was organized is a great example for all of the governments, and representing, what was as well said, these European values, how to cooperate between the governments, as well between the private sector and academic segment. So good luck and enjoy your moment. Thank you very much.
Only a few words. Thank you very much for this occasion to be a part of this great European contest. And because in Alef we are used to work with students, because we know how important the young generation is in cybersecurity field. So thank you, contestants.
And now to the main point of the afternoon's program. Let's start the award ceremony. I would like to ask Mr. Vojtěch Petráček, rector of the Czech Technical University Prague, and Michal Stachník, general manager of Cisco Czech and Slovak, to declare the team on the 3rd place.
Well, Mr. Director, we have here very well-secured envelope. And how to open it in a civilized way? Yes, well, it will be possible. So it's very well hidden, well sealed, secret. And now, thank you. Well, the 3rd place, the winner is Italy.
May I ask the whole team from Italy to come to the stage? Tutta la gruppa italiana, per favore, al podio. The whole team will got a medal and award, a certificate and a small gift. Congratulations, bravi. So team of the 3rd place with bronze medal. Congratulations once more. You can you can return back to the places. May I declare the team on the 2nd place. This will be awarded by Karel Řehka, director of NÚKIB, and Jan Dientsbier from Gordic.
So, good afternoon, everybody. Allow me to open under the supervision of NÚKIB the envelope with the second place. It's really well closed. And the team on the second place is
Poland.
congratulations.
The whole team is coming to the podium for medals and certificates. Poland. Congratulations to all members of team of Polski. Thank you. You return back to your seats. Thank you. And now the absolute winner. Team on the first place will be awarded by Mario Campolargo, Director General of DG Digit, and Jaroslav Babický, District Sales Manager at Palo Alto. May I ask you to come to the podium? So who is the absolute winner? Who is the best of the best?
Okay, the winner is Germany.
Vielleicht nieder da. Who is the captain? Also for the team of Germany, we have bravo, 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 congratulations. So the best team from Germany. Yes. Congratulations, and you could return to your seats. And now, each team, each participating team receive an award, a certificate. I would like to ask the captains of each team from the 4th until 19th place to come to the stage. So all the captains of the rest teams, please come to the stage. You will be awarded by a certificate by Major General retired Emil Pupiš, Director of Executive Committee for ECSC 2020 Fund. Team of Austria, the captain of Austria team. Belgium. Canada. Cyprus. Denmark. France. Greece. Ireland. Ireland is missing. Malta. Netherlands. Portugal. Romania. Slovenia. Spain. Switzerland.
To be greeted.
Congratulations to all the teams. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, now Mr. Miroslav Nečas will award authors of the essays competition.
Thank you very much. I am very honored to recognize two people of our essay competition. It was mentioned that we have many like little women here, and I'm very grateful that in the essay competition it was 50-50. We have 50% of women and 50% of men. So please, Martina and Gašper. Martina Bonano from the team of Malta, and Gašper Zupanic from team of Slovenia. There is a certificate that your brain still has. Martina.
Maria Bonano, Team Malta, Gaspar Zupanic, Team Slovenia. Congratulations. Now, please welcome Jaroslav Burčík, idea architect of the ECSC 2021, chairman of Executive Committee ECSC, with a special announcement.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big pleasure to invite you here at my university, the great Czech Technical University at Prague. And I have a few words about the backstage of this competition, because when we discussed 2 years ago with my colleagues, with Miroslav and the others from AFCEA, about this competition, we discussed how to prepare the better competition, because there is a competition between organizers too, of course, not only between the students. So we discussed how to be better than the other, how to be the best in the Czech Republic and the whole world. So we decided to implement some new concept in this competition. You have seen the journey to the space, the new how to say it, a new element as a work of international team, and many, many more. What's so important, behind this new concept, behind these elements on the backstage, there is a huge work of our students, not only university students, but high school students, students from a lot of cities across the whole Czech Republic, and that's important. They spend hundreds, thousands of hours with this work. So on the backstage, not only the majority of challenges appear or was done by students, but animations, scoreboard, the Discord channels, robot in the Discord channels, that's a work of our students, and a lot of these things. So I am very proud, and let me invite now the representatives of those students, so you can see who is or who was on the backstage. Of course, it's not possible to invite all of them, because, as I mentioned, some of them are high school students, still in the school, far away from Prague. So this team consists about 50, 60 people, so it's quite huge. But let me now invite few of them. Please come on, girls and guys, come on the stage, and please big applause for them. Yeah! It's a big pleasure. These are on the backstage. These are responsible for your great experience, for a lot of fun, and for everything what happened during the competition. Thank you for your applause.
Many thanks to the heroes. Many thanks. Mr. Nečas joined Mr. Burčík, and we have one more prize.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
we would like also to recognize the most important people that help us during the preparation, during the event, and we are very grateful to have them in our team. It's our woman in the team, so please, Erika Pupišová, please Ivana, Eliška, and Anička, please come here to the stage. Where is Iva? Ivo. Ivana Žáčková, our...
So that's our woman in the cyber security, of course in the backstage, but most important woman in our competition. So thank you very much for your applause.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Mr. Burčík. Thank you, Mr. Nečas. Thank you. So now, I think we spent a pleasant time together. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it will last for a long in your memories. So goodbye, and please come soon to Prague again. Bye. Thank you. And there is something to add. There is a refreshment in the next room, so may I invite you? Thank you.